Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Together San Diego. I'm Luis Cruz, Community Relations Director for the San Diego Union-Tribune. Joining me this afternoon is Stephen P. Dinkin, President of the National Conflict Resolution Center. Steve, thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure. Nice to be here.
Great. All right. Can you please start by telling us about the National Conflict Resolution Center and its mission?
Sure. The National Conflict Resolution Center has been in business for almost 40 years. And our goal is to really create a civil society to address all the sense of incivility that we see at all levels of society. And we do that through communication trainings and conflict management trainings, and as well as mediation strategies and mediation processes.
And you have a very timely event coming up. The San Diego Union-Tribune is partnering with NCRC to hold a virtual event on February 11th at 5 p.m. Pacific. The event is titled Healing the Political Divide, A Path Forward. Steve, why don't you tell us a little bit about what people can expect?
Yeah, we're very excited to bring this event to the public in partnership with the Union-Tribune. This is going to be a virtual event. It's an hour in length. And the first 20 minutes will be a discussion presentation by Arthur Brooks. He is a scholar, someone who ran the American Enterprise Institute, a conservative think tank in Washington, D.C. for about a decade, and now is a Harvard professor. And he wrote a New York Times best-selling book called Love Your Enemies. And in a time of political discourse and political divide, I couldn't think of a more relevant topic. And so following his 20-minute presentation, then I will engage him in a conversation for another 25 minutes or so. So overall, with questions, and the whole thing will be about an hour.
Okay. So you also write a weekly column for the San Diego Union-Tribune, also titled A Path Forward. And you mentioned in a recent column, that Brooks is the perfect speaker for this moment. Talk about that.
We are in a moment in our history where I don't think that we've ever had this level of polarization, and it cuts across society. We have division in terms of people who are rural and urban, wealthy and poor. It's the shrinking of the middle class, and also the extremism now in our political environment between Democrats and Republicans. And with this sense of division, people aren't engaging with one another. They are feeling a sense of contempt and for one another. And Arthur Brooks has come up with a very pertinent message. It's love your enemies. And it's about how to engage in dialogue when there's such a sense of polarization. And that's exactly what we need at this moment in time.
Now, when I think of the National Conflict Resolution Center, I mean, I think you guys are the experts in this subject matter, and you're obviously an expert in this topic. But any idea of what you plan to ask them on Thursday evening?
Well, I think in these challenging times, to say to love your enemies, I think that might be very challenging. And if someone has a different point of view that might be extremist, maybe you're confronting a racist. What about the individuals that surged the Capitol and tried to undermine our democracy? In situations like that, I want to ask them, how can you love your enemy when you're confronted with people with just a completely different perspective?
Yeah. Now, this is part of a national dialogue series that the NCRC is holding, addressing today's most urgent issues. Can you talk more about the series?
The series is called A Path Forward. And in this challenging time, we're all looking for a path forward to overcome hate, intolerance, and incivility in society. And a couple of years ago, there was the shooting in our own community in San Diego at the Poway Synagogue. And with the Union-Tribune, we brought in speakers from around the country that suffered similar atrocities in their own communities. And we asked them, what is the path forward? How can you reconcile these issues? How can you move forward as a community? And based on their ideas about the importance of bringing the community together to address the issues, to engage the community, we launched a Path Forward series. And it combines both national dialogues and local community circles and local trainings that really teach people how to communicate effectively across really challenging issues. And so our first national dialogue occurred in August, dealing with racism. And the question was how to become an anti-racist. And we had Robin DiAngelo and Ibram X. Kendi as our speakers. And February 11th, the event with Arthur Brooks is the second in the series talking about overcoming the political divide. We're going to have a third dialogue in July, and in 2021, a final one on September 11th, in memory of the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And so all of these national dialogues will be looking at some of the most challenging issues in society and helping people navigate through these issues and finding a path forward. Yeah. And at the same time we're doing that nationally, we're also providing local trainings called the Art of Inclusive Communication to help people address issues of inclusivity, and then also community dialogues.
Okay. And so you also, Steve, you also write a weekly column that is published in the Union-Tribune, also titled The Path Forward. Tell us about your column and what you hope readers get out of it.
So all of, under this umbrella of A Path Forward, we're using different tools to really teach people how to really navigate through this time of extreme polarization. And whether it's trainings or dialogues, locally or nationally, those are important elements. But we're taking also the opportunity in the weekly column, A Path Forward, to give people other types of communication tools and strategies, to really a fresh look on how to take on a challenging issue and move forward in a respectful way. And so we highlight individuals who have really been successful with that, and we take on very challenging topics and really walk people through, how to address these issues in a way that will really change society for the better, because we're just overwhelmed with the current situation. People are struggling to find that path forward.
Yes, they really are. We're trying to figure it out and seeing how we can help. How has COVID-19 affected the work that you do in the community?
It's been challenging for us as an organization with certain aspects, and then other aspects, it's really helped us get the word out. So some of the challenges that we're facing is that part of our programming is with the local courts. And because the courts are closed, we're not able to conduct mediations in affiliation with the courts. And another part of our program, we have an initiative called Avoiding the Pipeline to Prison, helping young people, predominantly of color, stay out of that pipeline to prison. And we work with schools and the DA's office. But we also have worked extensively in the jails. And because of the COVID situation, we're not able to enter into the jails and help do restorative practices with the inmates. So those are two programs that we haven't been able to do. But on the other hand, what's happened is that we are training communication, conflict management trainings. We're offering these trainings locally and nationally. And what we've been able to do is to take these trainings into a virtual platform. And so since last March, we're now training with organizations, companies, government agencies all over the country, and we're able to do that very effectively using a virtual format. So that's been really an opportunity for us to get the word out, to get these important communication skills out to the nation.
All right. So once again, the event is called Healing the Political Divide, A Path Forward. It's this Thursday, February 11th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. How can people register?
So the best way to register is to go online at ncrcevents.com. You see it mentioned there, and you just click on it and register. There's no cost to attend the virtual event.
All right. That's always good to hear. Again, the featured speaker is author Arthur C. Brooks, author of Love Your Enemies. Anything else you'd like to add, Steve?
Well, following the event, we are going to offer at no cost to the public 2 trainings focused on communication strategies. One's called The Art of Inclusive Communication. So I'll help people navigate through these challenging issues with people who really might look different than themselves, might have a different attitude or perspective, and teach people how to engage those people in a dialogue. And then we also will be holding 2 community circle dialogues around this very issue of overcoming contempt and how to love your enemies. And so people following the February 11th event can sign up for these trainings and dialogues, and people will be doing that from around the country.
All right.
And then finally, we also have a communication toolkit that we'll be offering to all the participants. And the communication toolkit will be really a set of tools that the registrants will be able to use to help them address issues such as harassment in the workplace, or how to communicate with someone in a challenging issue, how to be an effective team in the workplace. So these are all really workplace type trainings and communication skills that people can learn about by accessing this toolkit, and that'll be offered to all of the registrants of the event.
All right, that's great. Always great to walk away with some valuable information and some very important information, and it's free. So thank you so much, Stephen P. Dinkin, president of the National Conflict Resolution Center. Thank you for your time.
It's my pleasure.
All right. And thank you at home for watching, everybody. Have a great day.
News is more important today than ever before.
I'm currently outside Otay Mesa Detention Center.
I'm about to get a report at Sharp.
Out at Sunset Cliffs.
COVID testing site.
We live for these times when we're able to bring the news into the homes of people who need it the most.
I thank all of you for supporting our work.
When you subscribe to the paper, you're telling us that you believe in what we do.